What should you do if you find out your husband has an affair, has somebody else on the side? Maybe it's emotional, maybe it's physical, maybe it's been going on for a long while, maybe not. And what should you do? So the question is, the first question shouldn't be what should you do, right? The first question is, what do you want? And it depends on the stage in which you are in. When you find out in the beginning, you need, and that's you don't realize, you want some release from the pain, right? And you start talking to everybody, and that might sabotage your goals on the long term. Even if you divorce, even if you don't divorce, this will sabotage everything, right? So you have this need of releasing the pain, but be mindful to release the pain in healthy ways, not only by maybe talking to well-meaning friends who will kind of make you suffer even more and make it worse, or try to diminish your pain and try to encourage you when you didn't process the emotions yet. So the first stage, whatever happens, whatever traumatic like this happens, it can be seen as a trauma, right? Like if you don't ever expect it to happen, is first to process your emotions, like to really feel your emotions, really cry, really look for emotional releasing techniques, physical also, shake your body, um, think about stuff like really cry, really feel the pain in your body. Where is it? Send yourself love, right? Like try to kind of lick your wounds, if I might say like that, right? If you can, like this is for women who want to be self-sufficient, self-possessed, in charge of themselves, right? Of course, we are made to talk with people and in communities and everything, but most of the times, friends and never mind strangers on the internet, like we share these things with them, and they don't know how to hold the space for us to really process this emotion, like really feel the pain, right? They either try to diminish it, they either try to I don't know, unintentionally make it bigger, like you're stupid if you stay, and they talk about like really factual things. It's not even about that anymore. It's really just feeling the pain because it's something irreversible, right? Even if you want to go forward with your marriage, or if you don't want to go forward with your marriage, it's something that indeed for most of us, right, it causes pain, and you want to process the emotions first. If you don't do this first step, it can still bite you in the ass after 4 or 5 years, even if you're with your husband, even if you're not with your husband. So even if you decide to leave, if you don't process the emotions, they will sabotage. So that pain will like remain stuck in your body and in your mind, and it will come back to you, and it will sabotage other relationships, if your life, your career. You have no idea, like your self-esteem, your self-image, right? If you don't process it. So first you want to process the emotions. Of course, you can do this if you have, so number one, if you want to be a self-sufficient person, do this with yourself. Like really ask yourself, well, where do you feel the pain? How is it, right? Like really stay with it and really feel it. Don't try to numb it down with food and or drinking or smoking or distracting yourself from it. Don't numb it, like really, really feel it. If you want to be self-sufficient, you can do this with yourself. If you have a friend who's really non-judgmental and who can really hold the space. Most of us don't have a friend like this in our life, right? Like who can really just shut up and let you process these emotions in her presence or his presence, right? Like in the presence of another person, but process the emotions without the person interfering, without the person trying to diminish the pain or make it bigger, or try to come with solutions or tell you their opinions and advice, and you should do this, how could he? So nothing like that. If you have a person who can really hold a space, and you're one of the luckiest persons in the world, right? And try to do this with this person. If you can afford going to therapy or coaching, this is another great way, because coaches and therapists are trained to hold this kind of space, right? And being non-judgmental and just letting you process your thoughts and your feelings, and really letting this like pain go through, and so you know, like, it won't come back in your life and bite you in the ass. Then after you process your pain, right, you don't even have to talk to your husband about this. If you already told him that, hey, look at me, I know, don't think I'm a fool, then it's okay. But it's really even better to do this without him, because probably he won't be able to hold the space, right? And he's unfortunately not the person you need, because you don't trust them anymore, right? Like, you know, trust him anymore. It's hard for him to be that safe place for you. If you did it, and if your husband was able to be that safe place for you, that's like perfectly fine too, right? Like, there's no one recipe that works all the time. What I'm speaking about here is the best recipe, like, that works most of the times and on the long term. I'm always thinking long term, not in the minute, because in the moment you might want to go slap everybody, right? But on the long term, this doesn't serve you. This doesn't serve your self-image. Maybe it doesn't serve you legally. It doesn't serve your marriage. It doesn't serve even if you divorce, right? So just acting out, and you won't process the emotions. So there are many people who they're very angry and upset, and they act like they react to the pain, but they don't actually feel the pain. So in order to feel the pain, you don't have to react on it. You don't have to speak to anybody. You can just simply sit and feel it, right? You don't have to hit anybody. You don't have to, I don't know, look into phones and everything. And everything we do in this situation is to try to release the pain, but we're looking into solutions that don't work. They like, this is not releasing emotions if you start looking for all the evidence, right? Like, to feel more pain, but you don't actually feel the pain. You distract yourself, and now you're, I don't know, being the judge of it all, right? This doesn't help. Then you ask yourself, after you feel the pain a bit and process it, you ask yourself, what do I want? Because everyone will tell you, you should do this, you should do this, you will never trust them again, you should leave. Don't leave your marriage. That was a like one-time thing. Why would you think of leaving? Right? So we will have all this conflicting advice and try to take advice from outside of ourselves, but we don't look for answers within. An answer within to, what do I want? And most women, if they don't leave like ASAP, right? So a woman who isn't able, like, really, she's so sure she cannot forgive something like this, she will leave like in the first few days, right? She will think something like, you know what, it wasn't going well, I was going to leave anyway, so like, no wonder, like, we don't have a good marriage, no wonder he had an affair, I was thinking of having an affair or whatever, I'm just gonna leave, right? And I'm at peace with this decision. So women who are really at peace with this decision, they will take that decision ASAP, very soon after finding out. Women who linger, like, and they are on the fence, should I leave, should I go, I don't know, they actually want to stay on the long term, right? Like, if they process their emotions and everything, they are able to forgive, and that's very courageous, that's not stupid, that's not anything. So we're not here to judge, right? Like, what should you do? You should still be with your husband. We don't know. You know the answer for yourself, right? So if you are willing to forgive and move forward and maybe even transform this into the best marriage possible, very good, bravo, right? Like, find the people who support that, find the people who support your happiness, but like, remember, first you process your emotions, like, you don't take them with you in this new marriage that you want to create, right? So you simply can create a new kind of marriage with the same person, right? It's first, it's this decision, what do I want? And then everything you do, even talking to your husband about it, everything you do, ask yourself, is this going to help me to get what I want? So this is what I saw a lot. Like, I often advise women not even to tell their husband if they're sure they still want to stay married. And most women, and like comments on the internet, they will say, yeah, but she's not stupid, so don't let them think you're stupid. Do you actually think so? A man who is cheating on his wife, most men will feel, most people, right? It does, like men or women will feel super guilty, and they will think about, they're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about the wife in a negative way, in the sense of, I like, oh, she's so stupid. No, they will feel bad towards the wife, but not in the sense like, oh, she doesn't know, she's stupid, like I'm playing this game. This is for, I don't know, maybe men in their 20s who are very mature. After 30, 40, like that's not the case. You're not stupid if you don't know something. You can know a lot of things. You can have a lot of information and knowledge. That doesn't make you smart. I'm sorry to tell you. So having information doesn't make you smart. It makes you smart what you do with the information you have. So once you know something, what will you do with it? Right? What will you do with it? Or really, it makes you smart getting what you want in life, right? It makes you smart, not knowing more things about the affair, or telling your husband, I know about the affair, like, look at me, I'm so smart, I found it out, I'm like a detective. Okay. This doesn't make you smart. If your main goal is to transform this marriage, right? It's not your fault that your husband cheated, but it's your problem that the marriage is not good. So you can start working on it, right? If you still want your marriage, and if you want a good marriage, it's your problem, your problem, your marriage, your situation, your life, right? And you start working on it, and then he doesn't even have to know. Like, if you are able to do that, then you're one of the most, I think, most self-possessed and most brilliant women in the world. I don't know if I could do that. I must admit, I don't know. But imagine how powerful a woman can be if she knows what she wants, and she will get it no matter what. And if that is like to keep this marriage and eliminate the other woman, the most effective thing is to never speak to her husband that she knows about the affair, never try to find more information about the woman. Who is she? When do they meet? Why? And all the informations, like, that's giving her power away. That's not focusing on what she can do. So what she can do, and what you can do as a woman, is make your relationship so great that, like, the other woman is eliminated, right? The more you speak about her, the more she will be important. That's why I tell women, they're very upset if women who had who are in this situation and their husband had an affair, they're very upset. He doesn't want to tell me who she is and what's her name, and if I know her, he doesn't want to tell me. And I tell them, like, this is the best thing ever. If he doesn't want you to know her name and who she is, where she works, where they meet, it means she's not important, and he's willing to work on the marriage. If the more details you know, the more she's important, the more she's taking your place. I hope this makes sense. It's super, super powerful when you realize it. If a man will say, like, it's like fighting for her. This is her name. This is what I did. Like, she's important. It's really like saying she's important. If you don't know anything about her, and he doesn't want to tell you anything about her, right? If he's hiding, that's actually a good thing. That's actually not making her important. Not making her important in his life, in his children's life, in your life, and maybe still wanting to work on the marriage. Who knows? So the main question after you process the emotion is, what do you want? And then every action that you do, and everything you speak, and everyone you meet, and every question you ask, and everything you do for yourself or for your husband or for the marriage, ask yourself, is this serving my purpose? So imagine this kind of, like, what a powerful woman, right? She doesn't need to speak and have like long conversations and cry and blame and complain and anything. She works through her feelings herself, through her thoughts. She looks at her goal and she gets there, and she really just does it, right? Like, she doesn't need the drama. This comes with wisdom. This can come with age, but this comes mostly with a lot of inner work, with a lot of self-development work, reading, coaching, and yes, help from therapists and coaches. That's very good, but you can do it on your own, right? The point is to always ask yourself, what do I want? And go after that. And if you want to keep your marriage, like, yeah, it does it serve you to actually talk with him about it, right? Or simply make your marriage so good that he will, like, just let her go and never want to see her again just because your relationship is so good. So how strong is this? And this is actually the thing you can't control. You cannot control when he meets another person, when he smiles, when whatever he does with another person, but you can control having your relationship so good that he will simply like almost not see another woman, no matter how good she looks, no matter how much she smiles to him. Like, he will be so connected to you, right? And this takes a lot of skill, a level of relationship skills, right? To make yourself so connected to a man, to make yourself be his home, his emotional home. This is what I talk about a lot, and I love it so much. And this is, I think, that the core of marriages. It's like women, emotional power, and making yourself and your marriage so strong. Like, it's like an emotional home. Even if your husband has to go away for 1 year, there won't be cheating or affairs, right? Because you're his home, and he will think about you every day, and he will long, like almost be attracted and long so much to be home again, because you are his home. Wherever you are, there's his home. So I hope this helps. Please remember to process emotions first. Whatever happens, you need to process your emotions. You need to really feel your emotions, look into emotional releasing techniques. I recently found out about like somatic exercises, it's called, right? Like releasing trauma from the body and pain from the body through physical exercise, but it's specific exercises for women, especially. It's hip movements, maybe rocking back and forth. So it's specific. I'm not an expert on that, right? Like I know how to help people release emotional pain through like talking and holding space and being there, and maybe asking empowering questions, right? And explaining to people what they feel and how they feel it. But with physical exercise, like specific somatic exercises, I think that's brilliant. That's brilliant if you can do this. Like, I will learn that to be able to teach to my client, but I think that is brilliant. So look into that. Look into all kind of like emotional releasing techniques, breathing, again, naming maybe your pain, what color it has, where you feel it in your body, maybe even put your hand where it hurts the most and move it, right? And intentionally give space and time to that pain to feel it, not to react to it, not to I don't know, talk about it mindlessly with someone, or numbing yourself with food or Netflix or activities, right? And just make yourself forget. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. You really have to feel the pain first. And then always think about, what do I want, right? How do I get there? Is this serving me? Yes or no? Is this helping me to get there? Yes or no? It's so simple. It's binary decisions. Is this helping me to get what I want? Yes or no? Then you do it or don't do it, right? So you're in charge of yourself. You're in charge of your life. You're in charge of what you're getting in your life. Nobody else. So the point is to be, again, self-possessed, self-sufficient, powerful. This is the most powerful thing. This is women empowerment. It's not about screaming and shouting and earning money and doing everything men do in all areas. This is not women empowerment. This is not female empowerment. Feeling powerful means knowing what you want, knowing how to get it without shouting, right? You don't need to speak a lot. You just communicate with your energy, right? And you're really like, you feel self-sufficient, self-possessed, in charge of what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're getting in life, how people treat you. You're in charge of that. That's super, super, super powerful. I hope this helped. Bye-bye.